want to say welcome
Put
this
your
morning.
hands together. That
It's
was
good that you all
Christian.
are with us today to
Sorry,
observe
that was
World No
Crescent
Tobacco
Primary
Day under the
School
theme
with
Tobacco.
Dance.
Threat to environment.
Dear
No
Lord.
buts
That was
about
Crescent
it.
Primary School with
Very pleased
Dear
to see
Lord.
some of
Now
you in
that has
person
concluded
in a
our
while,
praise
which
dance
I've actually met with some of
category.
you face
The
to
next
face.
category that we're
And the
moving
fact that
into
we can
is
hold
modern
hybrid
contemporary.
events where our
We'll be
engagement
taking
is
Liberty Learning Center
face-to-face and
Portland
virtual.
with friends.
On behalf of
Item
the National
13,
Council on Drug
Liberty
Abuse, I'd like
Learning
to welcome
Center,
everybody and
friends,
express how
followed
grateful we are
by
to our parent ministry,
items
Ministerial Health and
18
Wellness,
and
to
19.
PAHO, to Heart Foundation of Jamaica,
I am
Jamaica
joined
Coalition for
by
Tobacco
one of
Control,
the
and Jamaica Cancer
participants
Society,
from Crescent
who have
Primary
been our
School.
long-standing
Good morning.
partners in bringing great awareness and
How are you?
action to address tobacco use
I am well.
and the grave impact that
And
it
what
has
is
on
your
our
name?
human health.
Tyler Green.
We have worked
Tyler
together for
Green.
years
So,
on World
Tyler
No
Green,
Tobacco Day
why
events,
do you
and this year
dance?
has been no different.
Because it's
Believe us, we value your
like
partnership.
an energy to my body.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are no buts about it.
Because it lets out
Tobacco is
stress
detrimental to human health,
It's an
and
energy,
as you heard, causing
right?
over 8
So it
million
allows
deaths
you
per
to
year
express yourself.
worldwide.
And I see that you
And
express
of course,
yourself
multiple
well.
forms
Now,
of
big up
cancer
your
and
dance teacher.
non-communicable diseases. Its cultivation,
Should
production, and
remember dance
waste cause
teacher name.
significant damage to our environment
Hi,
through deforestation
Miller.
and pollution of the land, air, and
And
our
Miss
water.
Miller, you
Additionally,
teach
our
me
youths are
well.
particularly vulnerable to effects of nicotine contained in tobacco.
She said that her teacher
Given its
taught
highly
her
addictive
well.
nature,
She just got
in
off
fact,
stage,
it
so
can
she's
disrupt
nervous
your
and
brain
tired. So we
development.
understand. Miss, it's okay. She remember your
Ladies and
name.
gentlemen, throughout the 39 years of
All right, take care.
our
And I hope that you
existence,
win,
National
right?
Council on Drug Abuse has been
Thank you.
at the forefront
You're
of
welcome.
conducting national drug studies, developing and implementing a range of drug
On
prevention
stage
programs,
next, we have
informing
Liberty Learning
policymakers,
Center
key
St. Mary
stakeholders, and general
with
public
friends.
about tobacco and other substances, and collaborating with local, regional, and international institutions to support demand reduction initiatives. Our studies have shown that among the general population, 11% currently use tobacco, while 30% have used at some point in their lifetime. However, more concerning is the fact that 15% of our adolescents between the ages of 13 and 15 have reported the use of e-cigarettes. And of those who have used tobacco, 80% have used it before the age of 14 years. You will all hear later on just how popular vaping has become among our young people.
If you
I
give
want you
a
to know
little
that this is not
more
confined to a
than
particular
you
parish
take,
or socioeconomic group. It
and
is
if you
occurring across the
try
length and breadth
to
of the
fix more than you break,
We're all keenly aware that all hands are needed on
if
board to
you're
tackle
the kind
effectively
who
the problem
takes
of
the
tobacco.
time to help a stranger
National
in the
Council on Drug Abuse is
rain,
very pleased that the Tobacco Control Act includes regulations that address critical issues such as sale and access to minors, smoking and vaping in public spaces, and advertising, promotion, and sponsorship by the tobacco companies. As an agent,
and lend a
at the
voice to
forefront,
those
NCD
who
is advocating for
cannot
tangible
speak.
support to run a comprehensive, sustained
If you shine a little light, give sight to the ones who've lost their way.
regarding tobacco use,
There's a
its
place
impact, access to
for
cessation
people
services,
like
and
you.
new legal parameters.
I've heard up there the streets are made of gold.
Counteracting the increasing popularity of vaping.
Up
We
there,
also need to take things a step
there's a
further
hand
and
to
enforce
hold.
regulations that stimulate penalties for those who
I
sell
believe
products.
when your day's down here through,
There's
there's a place
as you will hear
up there for people like you.
I must make mention of some areas of progress.
If you walk around with your heart on your sleeve,
Capacity building programs for specialized
and if you're trying to be the change you
recent
wanna
times, over 100
see,
healthcare workers were trained in brief tobacco.
if you lay down your life for love so someone could
Streamline our
say,
healthcare system.
there's a
The access to
place
evidence-based approaches
for
to
people
tobacco
like
services
you.
is widely available.
I've heard up there the streets are made of gold,
These issues. Again, I wish to thank each of you.
and when you get there,
And ask that you participate.
there's a hand to hold.
You will hear your perspective.
I believe when your day's down here through, there's a place
Young people
up
among us
there
will
for
encourage
people like you.
and take heed highlights some of the facts that exist in our context. And know what's about it, folks. PAHO, it has
Thank you so much, Mr. Tucker. At this time, I'm going to ask Ms. Deborah Chuen, Executive Director of Heart Foundation of Jamaica, to give her a round of applause.
When your days down here all through here.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody.
There's a
All
place
calls of service.
up there for people like
World No
you.
Tobacco Day is a very, very important event.
I know you're out there,
This
so
is a
keep
day
doing what
each
you
year when we
do.
reflect on the impact of tobacco use on our
There's
population,
a place
not just in
up
terms of
there
health,
for people
but
like
also in terms of the impact on the
Clap those
environment and
beautiful
on national
angels from
development.
Liberty
In
Learning
Jamaica,
Center
16%
St. Mary
of men
with
aged 30
friends.
years and over and 6%
Now we
of
move to
women
the
die
category
from non-communicable
duet.
diseases attributable to tobacco.
Class 1.
Tobacco
6
use
years
is
and
associated
under,
with
item
increased
18
risk of
from
diseases
Jesse Paul
such as
Primary,
cardiovascular
Light of
disease,
World. I'm going to
tuberculosis,
be
lung
asking
cancer,
items
and chronic
19,
obstructive pulmonary
Lighthouse
disease.
Academy.
In addition to
Item
the suffering
20,
caused by these
Ladderman
diseases due to
Prep.
tobacco use,
Item
there's also
21,
an economic
Zaz
cost to
Dance
the
Studio
individuals
to
so
stand
affected
by.
and
So
to
I'm
their
asking
families,
items
not to
19,
mention the cost to the
20,
Ministry
and
of Health and
21
Wellness
to
as the
stand
government
by.
endeavors
Joining us on
to
stage
provide the
now,
necessary
item
treatment to
18
deal with the
from
health
Jesse
impact
Paul Primary,
of the use of this
Light
deadly
of the
product.
World.
We note the disingenuous attempt by the tobacco industry locally to greenwash their activities by participating in a tree planting exercise on Labor Day. Globally, 3.5 million hectares of land are destroyed for tobacco manufacturing, which leads to soil erosion, reduced soil fertility and productivity, and disruption of water cycles. Tobacco also destroys the marine environment, as cigarette butts make up one of the most common waste categories found on international coastal cleanup activities. This so-called initiative of planting a few trees is nothing more than an attempt by the tobacco company to paint themselves as good corporate citizens and to deflect from the environmental and health harm that their deadly product causes. Smoking is an addiction which most users develop before they're 18 years old. After a relatively short while of using their products, this deadly business is ensured of the continued use of their product and the profit that goes with it by those who unwittingly get ensnared. Jamaica is currently in the process of reviewing the Tobacco Control Act 2020, which should guarantee a comprehensive legislative framework to monitor tobacco consumption, distribution, and promotion. An effective tobacco control policy is essential in protecting young people as well as the public from the scourges of tobacco and nicotine. An important component of legislation is the proposed ban on tobacco advertising from the This element will not only satisfy the country's commitment to the age of forever conduct of tobacco, but will also reduce the influence of the industry on tobacco consumption habits. Smoking is encouraged by the young population. They will develop the habits and will likely continue to smoke. Jamaica Coalition for Tobacco Control and Prevention are working with government and non-government organizations to advocate for the protection of the public from the health risks associated with tobacco use. On this, our 20th year, the coalition maintains support of the government, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the National Council on Drug Abuse, PAHO, in this venture, as it demonstrates a commitment to protect the nation's children and, by extension, the future of Jamaica. Thank you.
That was item 18 from Jesse Paul Primary, Light of the World. Next, we have on stage Light
Thank you
House
very
Assembly.
much. Ms.
From
Chen, give her applause
Light
again
House
for me,
Assembly,
please.
Dance Assembly.
Thank you.
Eclipse.
So at this time, I will ask the Honorable Minister to deliver his message and or rather his main address at this time. A round of applause. Thank you.
A falling star, far from your heart.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to remove my mask up here, right? Is that good? Thank you very much. All right. I see that we have a really nice group here, including our lovely students from Ministerial. Here they are students, they are teachers. Or should I say protectors? We recognize both students and guardians, teachers. I recognize my colleague, Minister Flynn. Always there, always ready, always able. Anybody, any of the students know that this is an Olympian? Let me see the hands of those who know that she's an Olympian. Minister, stand up and let them see you, because I want them to understand that all things are possible. When she comes up here, she's going to give a testimonial about how she worked hard and achieve her goal, beat every other performance on the world stage. Let me see who wants to be an Olympian. Show me your hand. Not one of you. Jesus, man, please. Who want to be a pastor? Everybody hasn't gone down. Who want to be a dancehall artist? Who want to be a doctor? Politician. Space we have to get them to application forms, what you say. But we won't do it here. We won't do it here. It would be right. I want to recognize Mr. Tucker. Good to see you, sir, from the council, and other members who are here representing the council. Miss Deborah Chen, my longtime friend and advocate. We work very close together. The Cancer Society, good to see you, sir. And all who are here and those on the platform in technology land. So I was here, I was ready to come here at 10. But then they told me not to because you rearrange up everything. So I have a meeting, so I'm going to have to leave. Not because I don't think this is very important, but because of the time adjustment, which on this occasion is not my fault, okay? But I'm very happy to be here and very happy to see all of you. And I'm not here to bore you with long speeches because I note that the audience has more children than, or students, I should say, than adults, even though we have to send a little message to the adults too. Now, it has already been said that today is World Tobacco, No Tobacco Day. And everybody knows what that means, right? You have a very bright person over there, you know. She wanted to be a politician or doctor or what? Okay, give her a round of applause there for me. Lovely, lovely. I really admire that. And I believe you can. Okay, and we're going to work on it with you, right? So today is a big day because what today represents is an opportunity to highlight the ill effects, the sickness-causing diseases, the death and destruction, the devastation that you meet unto yourself or to others because they inhale your tobacco, the smoke, you know, the exhale. So it either go in your lungs based on what you do, or it go in somebody else's lungs based on what you do around them. Now listen, I was a student once, right? I never born big. None of us are. So I know the thing go, that some of us are intent through curiosity, through persuasion, through influence, to try a little puff here and there. And we would be lying. And none of us now gonna lie today. In our heart, that is. We probably won't say it publicly. If we don't know somebody who has done it, either we see them doing it or we try to do it. I tried to do it too when I was in school. You know what I used? Anyway, I'm not going to tell you what I used because I don't want to give anybody any ideas. But the point is, it wasn't until I had grow and learn after a while. If my mother knew about it, she would strap me properly too, right? Mother was a very strict disciplinarian, and it was only a one-try thing. But it was a curiosity. And as young people, we are curious. And we shouldn't, actually, we shouldn't even discourage the curiosity because it's part of the learning process. So I'm not here to say that you mustn't seek knowledge, and sometimes seeking knowledge through experience. But there's another critical part of learning that you must understand, and the country must come to terms with, is that sometimes experience is the greatest teacher. And if you don't have the experience, and you know others who have the experience, it better you listen to those who have had the experience. Now, when it comes to smoking, I am hoping that all of you are too young to have had the experience. But there are many older ones of us who have had the experience. Many of them are up at the National Chest Hospital. Them can't breathe. If you have a machine over them nose and mouth, because their lungs has changed color. If you ever seen a lungs that is contaminated by tobacco, it is dark and discolored, and it cannot perform the function that it ought to perform because of the smoke that go down in there through tobacco. So my advice on this World Tobacco Day, which is an attempt at bringing recognition to no smoking, because every day is a World No Tobacco Day. Every day is a World No Tobacco Day. Can I get an amen for that? Today is just recognized as such, so we highlight the conversation, but the conversation needs to go on. And my message to you as youngsters, here and out there, is that learn from other people's experience. It's not worth it. Because every one of you want to grow up to be the lawyer, the doctor, the governor general, or whatever else. And you deserve it. You deserve it. And we as the older ones have a responsibility to enable you to achieve it. Tobacco smoking not going to get you there. Whether it is the branded one or is the one we grow and we dry and we see the little man them on the street corner and dig out them hand middle. You know what I'm talking about, right? Because I know that the herbs and spices in the school too. You see what I call it? Herbs and spices. Because I am not naive. I used to be young too. And every one of you would have seen it or heard of it or smell it. I'm saying to you, it is a wrong course to take. So today, let World Tobacco Day for you be an attempt at learning the effects of tobacco on the lungs. It will eventually kill you. That's the point I begin. Take it from Daddy as a father of three. It will eventually kill you. There's another thing I want to say to you as a message that I want you to understand. There's a new device that is now in the schools. Technological device. They call it e-cigarette. Because you don't need a matches to light it. It come look like a pen. Sometimes it look like a pencil. Sometimes it look like all sort of things. Different color, red, white, blue, small. You can put it in your shoes and hide it, in your pocket, in your bag with your pencil and pen. And it have some little substance in it. And as young people, everybody curious to find out what is in there. And I know I'm not wrong. Everybody curious. And the manufacturers of these products, they make it so that people are curious. They put all the nice colors and the nice features. So everybody wants it. And because you can use it and the teacher don't know, because the smell may not be as high, and you can hide it so it don't look like the typical tobacco branded product, a lot of you can get away with it. And a lot do. Well, World Tobacco, no Tobacco Day, I want to say to you as young people, here and out there, it's worse than the tobacco that you smoke. because that chemical that is in that thing will affect your lungs, your brain, and everything else. In fact, it is so important that we highlight to our young people in schools that this is a clear and present danger. It is an evolving danger that is becoming more of a problem. And that instead of hiding it from them, we must tell them that it exists and explain to them why they should stay far from it. And you must expose the culprits who are pushing it too. Because I know that in this new e-cigarette scenario, people all do home delivery to young people, drop it off at them house, sell it out of the gate, and even some, unfortunately, are the very students carry it in the school and sell it to their colleagues. We're up against a lot. For you as young people, what you need to consider at all times is that you are in school to become a better person later on, to become independent, to own a car and a house, to have a family, to buy your own food and pay your own bills. Tobacco is not going to get you there. It's going to cut you very short. 65,000 young people through secondhand smoke, not even them doing it directly, die each year globally. 8 million worldwide, 1.2 million by secondhand smoking. So I want to just say to you as young people, there are some trends that you mustn't follow. You know, when you hashtag, right? Who knows about hashtag? All of you need to hashtag no tobacco day, no tobacco ever, and tag me and let me respond and big you up because you would get the message. It's not worth it. Go outside and play. Go play, go swim, go run, go play football, whatever. The tobacco thing not worth it, not worth it. I want to say something to the older people, the parents, the guardians, the purveyors of misinformation around the benefits of tobacco. That there's a lot of misinformation out there that we're going to have to take on as a government, because we have to see ourselves in public health and indeed as a country as defending the good health of our citizens. And it has to start with the children. And there's no better place to start than around this issue of tobacco, because it is so destructive. There is no legitimate, objective argument that can be advanced that can even place any positive on tobacco consumption, because the ultimate end is so predictable. But I want to say to the guardians and those who are purveyors of we're going to come with the legislation. Someone said it earlier. We're now at the advanced stage in the parliament. The committee is deliberating on all the recommendations. The next step is the debate. And hopefully, as I appeal to my parliamentary colleagues in my sectorial, we won't have much issues to pass it, because frankly speaking, the comprehensive legislation is impatient of debate, even though I fully respect the right of my colleagues to engage. And we have to follow the process. When that is done, we are going to provide greater information to all of the country, young and old, but we're going to target the younger population because we don't want you to develop bad habits. I want you to know from early, as we are now highlighting. But to those who are getting away with pushing the habit of smoking, particularly among our young people, I just want to say to them, the proposed bill, the proposed law has penalties for this kind of breach. You can, in parish court, be fined up to $1 million if you market or sell tobacco products to young people. You know, I am sad that it has to come to that, because I think that all adults should see themselves as protectors of our young people. But unfortunately, the world don't make up like that. And so we have to make and take stronger measures. So I say to our adults, recalibrate to the extent that you're pushing the tobacco line on our young people. As I say to the young people, don't be encouraged, be forced, be motivated to try tobacco, because it's not worth it. It is going to affect you and your life as we would like to see it for you. So today is an important day, but tomorrow is going to be equally important. And for the rest of your lives, it is also going to be important. Let World No Tobacco Day be a shout out, but we're going to start a campaign right now, from here on, to show why tobacco is bad for you. It kills, and it kills quickly and painfully. And frankly speaking, there are better habits you can pick up. It's not worth it. Enjoy the rest of the day, and thank you very much. And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to leave. No, unfortunately, I have a meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Minister. That was a good one, right? I see my young people thought that that presentation was rather energetic. I see you put up your hand. Yes, power. Was great. Okay. At this time, I'm going to ask Dr. Harris to make her way to the stage, and she will deliver her presentation to you all. Applause. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. All protocols observed, and indeed pleased to see everyone who is here today. It is my pleasure indeed to bring you greetings on behalf of Mr. Ian Stein, the PAHO WHO representative here in Jamaica, Bermuda, and the Cayman Islands. Mr. Stein is on official visit out of the country, but he sends his regards and wishes for a successful event. There are no ifs and buts about it. Tobacco has an extremely harmful impact on the body and on the environment. We heard a lot this morning already about the statistics of the use of tobacco in our general population and in our youth. And we know that tobacco kills over 8 million persons every year. But there are also many more who are maimed and incapacitated. Yes? But tobacco not only affects the physical body, but the environment. The production of tobacco is responsible for 600 million trees being chopped down every year in order to make in excess of 6 trillion cigarettes every year. In that way, there's a reduction in the clean air that is available to us. So think about it. Cutting down the trees that help us with the oxygen, and then encouraging persons to use the cigarettes to smoke. Then there are the cigarette filters, which are full of toxins that can leach into the ground and waterways, damaging organisms that come into contact with them. Cigarette butts are the most abundant form of plastic waste in the world. When a few years ago, there was the ban on plastics, on scandal bags, as we refer to them. Be reminded that the butts of the cigarette also constitutes plastic waste, and they account for up to 40% of the litter that is found on the beaches when there are urban cleanups across the world. This year, we are celebrating 34 years since there's the commemoration of World No Tobacco Day. And I come to you representing the Pan American Health Organization. We are celebrating this year 120 years in existence. And we work collaboratively with the ministries of health in the countries where we are located, the agencies like the National Council of Drug Abuse, yes, and we are here to support and to encourage in any way possible the efforts to reduce a scourge like tobacco that can impact on the health and well-being of the population. Our best opportunity to reduce the impact of tobacco and protect our environment is always now. We have a responsibility to stop poisoning our planet. In the minister's speech, he reached out to the youth. You have the responsibility to learn about it, as he said, to learn from the experiences of others and utilize them. And you don't need to get your personal experience. Mrs. Chen spoke to the nicotine and its addictive nature. So we don't need to try it to find out. There's lots of evidence, lots of information about what it can do. Each of us can be an advocate against tobacco use. There are several things you can do. You can speak up about the impact of tobacco on the environment through your social media posts and in your social groups. And I'm referring to those in the room and any who may be joining us by social media. Discourage someone from starting to use tobacco in any form, whether it's the smoking of the cigarette or the using of the e-cigarettes or the vaping. And don't be fooled. It's not a means to quit. It's just an alternate way of doing the same thing. Minister referred to the little vials. There are substances in there, we don't even know the concentrations. We don't even know what it's doing to the young adolescent brain that is in development. So discourage someone from starting the use of the tobacco, the traditional one, or even the e-cigarette. And signpost a friend on ways to quit. If you know someone has been dabbling, someone has been trying, help them, reach out and give them some information. PAHO is committed to helping countries to reduce the burden of disease, death, and economic consequences caused by tobacco use and exposure to secondhand smoke. To this end, the organization has supported the implementation of measures for the creation of completely smoke-free environments and the adoption of effective measures on the packaging and labeling of tobacco products. PAHO has assisted member states in the preparation, review, and implementation of tobacco control regulations and policies. PAHO has promoted technical cooperation with and among countries to share best practices and lessons learned. We at the PAHO WHO Jamaica office, Jamaica Country Office, commend the government of Jamaica for the work underway for the passage of the proposed tobacco control legislation. This legislation presents our best opportunity to reduce the harmful impact of tobacco and tobacco-related products on our children, young people, on the society, and on the environment. Ladies and gentlemen, young men, young ladies, boys and girls, reducing tobacco consumption is a key catalyst towards realizing the health-related sustainable development goals. But as the environmental evidence illustrates, the benefits go far beyond just health benefits. I commend everyone who is here today, and we look forward to great discussions and opportunities to interact with visitors and the schools and those who are joining us virtually. It is my hope that this forum will spark a passion in young people to protect themselves and their environment from the harmful effects of tobacco. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Harris. That was very informative. I hope my young scholars in the audience right now are taking notes. Are you? Okay, good, good. But you know, I have something to say. We have a lot of young people watching right now, not just in the audience, but also online. So let me big up a few schools. First and foremost, we have 27 schools in total online. In front of us, we have 4 schools representing. Calabar High School. I'll have you know that's my father's past school, so you already know. Jamaica College. Yes. Meadowbrook High. And Pembroke High School. Yes, loud. Welcome. Online, I have to big up the schools online because you know what? We have 27 schools. That's a big number. We have online, we have Petersfield High School, Manning School, Peggy Barry Primary and Infant School, Rhodes Hall High School, Rossies High School, that's my mother's school, Yallas High School, Robert Lightbourne High School, Manchester High School. Give them a round of applause, man. Savannah Lamar High School, Cross Keys High School, Thompson Town High School. Guess what? There's a name on this list that is my last name because my name is Kimberly Nain and there's a Nain High School on here, so I want to hear the applause. We have Bull Savannah Primary School. We have Titchfield High. We have Horace High, Horace Clark High, Irwin High School, Paul Bogle High School, Northern Caribbean University, St. James High School, Western Kindergarten and Prep, Green Pond, Spot Valley High School, no man, enough to keep on with the clapping. Salt Marsh Primary School, Anchovy High School, Hayes Primary Infant School, Marlin High School, V. Williams Walkerswood Academy. Everybody give them a round of applause. And give yourselves a round of applause for being here today. Welcome. Now, we have to keep it lively, right? Right? Right. So at this time, we have 2 very vibrant persons in the audience right now with us. And what they're going to do is they're going to do a performance for us. Are we excited about it? And guess what? There are 2 of some of our the bright people from before. Remember the bright people from before? Those 2. So Ngozi and Tafari, right? Can we give them a round of applause? Look at how she's bright and pretty, and I like your outfit. I like your outfit. Everybody, come on. No, man, I can't. Look at that. She looks wonderful and bright and shiny this morning.
One more child in my palm. One more child for me to warm. Light that fire. Feel the warmth. One more. One more child in my palm. One more child for me to harm. Light that fire. Feel the warmth. One more charm.
Tafari, what are you doing? Children, no smoking. Serious risk and no joking. No tobacco, no coating. Children, no smoking. Say you stress. Cigarette are not the answer. Stick at it. Cause no cancer. Children a ball. Tears and anger. Parents gone.
I'm going to need far more of an applause than that. We have some very talented young people, don't you agree? Agree, they're beautiful, aren't they? Right? Now at this time, you know what we're gonna have now? We're gonna have a panel discussion. And in this panel discussion, oh, I just got signal that uno wants a break. So at this point in time, I will allow for a 5 to 10 minute break. Is that right? 5 minutes. We're gonna have a 5 minute quick break so we can, get a drink, have some coffee, refreshing up, and then we'll move into the panel discussion. All right, everyone? Awesome.
It started innocently. It looked fun. It looked cool. But then I got hooked. And it had its downsides. I couldn't keep up physically. It started to put a strain on my life and the lives of my loved ones. And I got sick. Really sick. And I realized I was losing. But I knew what I had to do.
What would your body say to you if you quit vape and tobacco use today?
I'm a cardiothoracic surgeon. I know it's a big word, but what it means is that I'm a heart surgeon and a thoracic, which is chest surgeon. Well, the main one we talk about, and you'll hear across the world, is that of lung cancer, where basically the cigarette smoke, the content of the cigarette smoke, actually irritates the lung itself. And the lung try and sort of fight against this irritation, and you end up having what we call abnormal growth. So there's overgrowth of cells. And as a result of that, you end up having lung cancer. But long term, you also end up with bullous disease in terms of 60s and 70s.
So I've been 42 years now. And when I smoke, well, if a bad feeling, serious chest pain. And I feel, and so much time I vomit, and when I vomit blood. So by the time I lie down, and when time I lie down, I can't move. Turn on the fan for me. I just feel like me just dead some of the time.
Quitting smoking has major and immediate health benefits. Within 20 minutes, your heart rate and blood pressure drop. After 12 hours, the carbon monoxide level in your blood drops to normal. In 2 to 12 weeks, your circulation improves and your lung function increases. 1 to 9 months, coughing and shortness of breath. In 10 years, your risk of lung cancer falls to about half that of a smoker. Also, vaping can harm the lungs, heart, and can lead to nicotine addiction among youth.
What would your body say to you if you quit vape and tobacco use today?
Your lungs would tell you, I can now breathe a little easier.
Your heart would say, I can now beat a little stronger, maybe even for longer.
Your kidneys would thank you for relieving the pressure.
Your improved blood flow will make your skin glow.
Commit to quit. Your body will thank you for it. For help to quit, call 564-4357.
A message from the National Council on Drug Abuse, an agency of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
My name is Jay, and I'm 6 years old. I'm a little girl, but I have big things to talk about. I don't know a lot about being an adult, but please listen to my point of view. My mommy told me that smoking is not a joke. When we breathe in second-hand smoke, it's much worse than adults do. My mommy say I have asthma, and smoking around me will make me sick. She told me when I'm around someone smoking to go away from the smoke. Suppose we can't go anywhere else. What can that adult do? I know. Maybe they can think about my health and my future too. We want to have good examples to follow. Please don't smoke, because we might do it tomorrow.
Some people smoke and not think about the things them what can happen to them. Smoking can make you sick and can make you look old, mash up and pop down. When you smoke, you can die from cancer, heart attack and some other bad sickness.
Leonard! Leonard, I'm sick!
I'm know you alone you can't sick. You can't sick the people them where you are smoke around too. No buts about it. Smoking and nothing good. Think about the bad thing them way to go do to your health and not smoke out your life.
Nicotine is an addictive drug in tobacco. It causes people to continue smoking. Along with nicotine, people who smoke inhale about 7,000 other chemicals in cigarette smoke. These chemicals come from burning tobacco leaf. These components are chemically active and can damage our bodies. Smoking harms nearly every organ in our body, causing many diseases and reduced health. Tobacco smoke can damage our organs and system. Tobacco smoking can cause the following: windpipe damage, lungs irritation and damage, lungs infection, permanent damage to air sacs. Tobacco smoking can cause raise in blood pressure and heart rate, lung cancer, heart diseases, stroke, lung diseases, diabetes, and lots of other problems to the immune system. Damage to skin tissues, blindness and redness to eyes, gum disease and damage to nails.
It started innocently. It looked fun. It looked cool. But then I got hooked. And it had its downsides. I couldn't keep up physically. It started to put a strain on my life and the lives of my loved ones. And I got sick. Really sick. And I realized I was losing. But I knew what I had to do.
What would your body say to you if you quit vape and tobacco use today?
I'm a cardiothoracic surgeon. I know it's a big word, but what it means is that I'm a heart surgeon and a thoracic, which is chest surgeon. Well, the main one we talk about, and you'll hear across the world, is that of lung cancer, where basically the cigarette smoke, the content of the cigarette smoke, actually irritates the lung itself. and the lung try and sort of fight against its irritation, and you end up having what we call abnormal growth. So there's overgrowth of cells. And as a result of that, you end up having lung cancer. But long term, you also end up with bullous disease in terms of 60s and 70s. So
I'm in 42 years now. And when I smoke, what if a bad feeling, serious chest pain. And I feel, and some of the time I vomit, and when I vomit blood. Some of the time I lie down, and when time I lie down, I can't move. Turn on the fan for me. I just feel like me just dead some of the time.
Quitting smoking has major and immediate health benefits. Within 20 minutes, your heart rate and blood pressure drop. After 12 hours, the carbon monoxide level in your blood drops to normal. In 2 to 12 weeks, your circulation improves and your lung function increases. 1 to 9 months, coughing and shortness of breath. In 10 years, your risk of lung cancer falls to about half that of a smoker. Also, vaping can harm the lungs, heart, and can lead to nicotine addiction among youth.
What would your body say to you if you quit vape and tobacco use today?
Your lungs would tell you, I can now breathe a little easier.
Your heart would say, I can now beat a little stronger, maybe even for longer.
Your kidneys would thank you for relieving the pressure.
Your improved blood flow will make your skin glow.
Commit to quit. Your body will thank you for it. For help to quit, call 564-4357.
A message from the National Council on Drug Abuse.
It started innocently. It looked fun. It looked cool. But then I got hooked. And it had its downsides. I couldn't keep up physically. started with a strain on my life and the lives of my loved ones. And I got sick, really sick, and I realized I was losing. But I knew what I had to do.
What would your body say to you if you quit vape and tobacco use today?
I'm a cardiothoracic surgeon. I know it's a big word, but what it means is that I'm a heart surgeon and a thoracic, which is chest surgeon. Well, the main one we talk about, and you'll hear across the world, is that of lung cancer, where basically the cigarette smoke, the content of the cigarette smoke, actually irritates the lung itself. And the lung try and sort of fight against this irritation, and you end up having what we call abnormal growth. So there's overgrowth of cells. And as a result of that, you end up having lung cancer. But long term, you also end up with bullous disease in terms of 60s and 70s. So
smoking 42 years now. And when I smoke, well, it's a bad feeling, serious chest pain. And I feel, and sometimes I vomit, and when I vomit blood. Sometimes I lie down, and when time I lie down, I can't move. Turn on the fan for me. I just feel like me just dead some of the time.
Quitting smoking has major and immediate health benefits. Within 20 minutes, your heart rate and blood pressure drop. After 12 hours, the carbon monoxide level in your blood drops to normal. In 2 to 12 weeks, your circulation improves and your lung function increases. 1 to 9 months, coughing and shortness of breath. In 10 years, your risk of lung cancer falls to about half that of a smoker. Also, vaping can harm the lungs, heart, and can lead to nicotine addiction among youth.
What would your body say to you if you quit vape and tobacco use today?
Your lungs would tell you, I can now breathe a little easier.
Your heart would say, I can now beat a little stronger, maybe even for longer.
Your kidneys would thank you for relieving the pressure.
Your improved blood flow will make your skin glow.
Commit to quit. Your body will thank you for it. For help to quit, call 564-4357.
A message from the National Council on Drug Abuse, an agency of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
My name is Jay.
Good morning again, ladies and gentlemen, young people in the audience, in person and online. It is World No Tobacco Day Youth Forum. And as you can see, we have a very vibrant panel beside me. And before I even go there, let me just say, because this is going to be deserving of another applause, we have moved from 27 schools online to 31. Wow. Also Spring Primary, Little London Primary, Hayes Primary, and Mayder Primary. Welcome. Welcome back again, everyone. Now with me on the panel, let me get my documents correct. With me on the panel, to my left, we have Mr. Lance Scott, and he is here replacing Miss Lenika Roden, who is with us today. However, you know, sometimes we have our issues, and today she's not feeling so well. So let us give her a little round of applause for being here with us, and because we thank her. Mr. Lance Scott is going to be speaking on the environmental impact. Let me give you a little preview, rather, on Mr. Lance Scott. Mr. Lance Scott is a research and policy specialist with a focus on climate change, rural livelihoods, and climate risk insurance. Lance holds a Bachelor of Science in Geography and Geology and is currently a PhD candidate. So you can call him doctor. At the University of the West Indies. Lance has worked on several projects, including being a trainer and assistant project manager on projects commissioned by the National Environmental Planning Agency through the UE. He specializes in research, design, data collection, data management, data analysis, and monitoring and evaluation. So all the students in the audience right now who don't know what they want to do, Mr. Scott is right here, can lean on him as a mentor, right? Right, Mr. Scott? Absolutely. We also have two young, vibrant students here on the panel with us. We have Lenworth Chong representing Calabar, Calabar Massive. And we have Kiera Mullings representing Pembroke, Pembroke Massive. And of course, we have our very own, the Honorable State Minister, Juliet Cuthbert Flynn. A round of applause. Before I even get into the full-on discussion, you know what? Like our minister has said earlier, Minister Flynn is an Olympian. That means, say, she not only look good and she bright and she successful, but she fast too, right? So as an Olympian, as someone who has achieved so much, we want to get her insight on World No Tobacco Day. What does it mean? Coming up, you were a young person once upon a time, Minister. What was it like for you having to say no to the different obstacles that would be considered influences, like tobacco, to get to the point that you are now? How do you navigate to your goal by saying no?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Is it work? Mic's not working. Can you hear me?
Can we have a mic check?
Mic check, mic check. Okay, I can hear myself now. Thank you so much. And it's really a pleasure to be here. And this is a very important topic, World Tobacco Day, or saying no to tobacco. I'm very happy to be here because I, personally, as you said, as an Olympian, I definitely said no to drugs, period. And especially back in the 19s, yes, I'm going to age date
Way
myself
back.
here. Especially back in the 1970s and 80s. Yes. Especially in the 80s, late 80s, the prevalence of different types of drugs in the track and field arena, it wasn't as loud as now where persons are doing the drug testing, etc. But I knew the importance of not taking certain substances to prevent me from competing to the utmost best. And so it was important for me to not smoke, to not go near smoking. And as Minister stated earlier in his speech, a lot of times youngsters think it's cool to kind of, you're standing there, you're at a party or at an event and you're holding your cigarette and smoking. And, but it was not something that looked cool for me. And I think it's because I was so entrenched even at that time at an early age, wanting to compete at an international level. And I knew the dangers, I think, of smoking. We have seen certain ads so far with the cough. You heard the cough? And you would hear this horrible cough sometimes from people as they're smoking. They have this horrible cough. And I'm thinking, if it is that's doing that to you, why would you even want to smoke? And so it was never something that I ever wanted to do, or even my friends. I made sure also, they say, choose your friends, right? Birds of a feather flock together. And so one of the things that I also did was I chose my friends to make sure that the people that I was around were not smokers, were not using any drugs. And I stayed away from that. And, again, in order for me to have gotten to the highest level in track and field, the highest level is really the Olympic Games. I could not be a smoker. You need your lungs to breathe. And you've seen the ads where persons who smoke, it was very difficult. It's very difficult for them to really breathe properly. And so I did not want to have anything impact negatively on me reaching the top. And so I made sure that I stayed away from cigarette smoking and any other, we're not talking about steroids today, but steroids for sure. And I hear of other things going on in the school at this time. And I would encourage you as young people to make sure that you stay away from those things. It's just not good for you health-wise. I think, it helped me a lot of times. Again, I dated myself, so you know my age. I think smoking also helps with your skin to look better. You look at some people who smoke and they look old. They look older than they really are. So it has a debilitating effect on your body internally and also I believe externally. And so I would encourage all of you. I have a track star, a pole vaulter right here, Mr. Chung from Calabar. We're just talking about how he thinks it's exhilarating to be a pole vaulter. And I like how he described that because I love watching the pole vault. And I'm happy that you are not a smoker and have no no need to really go that route because you understand running down that it's about what 40 meters long. How long is the runway?
It depends on type of athlete still. Everyone has different run-ups. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses. I think the typical run-up though is like 20 for an amateur pole vaulter like myself, from 25 to 30 meters.
Right. And so the importance of you understand lactic acid because even though you're a pole vaulter, the training may not be something like what I used to do, but you need good lung capacity in order to do even your run up, even if it's 20 meters or 25 meters.
Yeah,
and so
you need to know how to construct it, like to maintain the run top speed as long as possible. That gives you a boost to go in the back and to eventually clear the bar.
Exactly. And so for me, even though I was a sprinter, 100 and 200, they say we're the laziest people, because we didn't even like to even jog a little one lap for warm up. But because I was pretty good at the 1, the 2, and also the 400, you needed good lung capacity in order to just run, period. And so I understood that from a very early age, because again, I saw persons in around the community who were smokers and understood and heard that cough, that ugly cough that I did not want. And I also understood from early that I wanted to be a very good athlete and be at the top of my game. And if I smoked, that it would prevent me from getting there.
Thank you so much, Minister. So, students, that right there is your role model. That's a living role model for you. She knew from a very young age not to abuse, generally speaking, drugs. And that extends as far as to tobacco. So you say no. And we have our young man here, Lenworth. I did not know he is into his sports, but now I know. So taking from what the minister has said, what advice would you give one of your fellow classmates that is picking up the smoke?
I don't really see it because they wouldn't make it obvious, right? But I would say like it would be a very reckless decision in my eyes. It would be very, very dumb because you have such a bright future ahead of you, especially the man them at the big traditional high school, they have to have a 85 plus average or 80 plus average to be at that level and at the school. So to me, it's kind of pointless wasting your time smoking. But I guess everyone is different. Not everybody is like me. Not everybody like understand the damage that they might to them body. Not really everybody like want to be the person who stand out and say, yo, I could stop with this. Yo, I could just do something productive. But to be honest, like it's not for me to judge, really, because everyone is curious at some point. As Mr. Tufton said, it's a part of the learning process of us teenagers. We have a lot to learn. We are young and dumb, adult without sense, as them would have said. So, yeah. To be honest,
Lenworth, what grade are you in? What form are you in?
I'm in fourth form.
You're in, that is a bright young man, you know. I hope those universities looking out. He has said some he has made some very important statements. And I commend you. Truly. Miss Mullings. No make Lenworth step over you come. Show them say woman can talk to. What is your take on World No Tobacco Day? And today's world we have a lot of youth that use the vape, like Minister had mentioned earlier. Well, I can't say if you've ever seen it, but if you were to see it and be around it, what is your take on it? How would you, if you saw your classmate using it, how would you approach your classmates?
Well, I would say to them that they're not thinking about how it will affect them and what consequences does it have with them. So if I saw a classmate doing it, I would say to that person that, come on, you don't care about yourself? This affects your body, like it affects you mentally and psychologically because, well, yeah, mentally.
Yes, you're right. You're
so
right.
it affects you in many ways. You're not taking care of yourself. You're damaging your body basically, and it affects the way you think about certain stuff. So I would say to them that that is not a right way to go. Try to utilize a skill or something. Use your talent. So I would say to do different things to take your mind off of certain things. Say, for instance, you're vaping because of a certain situation that affects you. So I would say just think about it and try to do something different instead of going the wrong way. So, yeah.
Profound words. Thank you so much, Kira. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? It's Kira or it's Kira? So you have to get the name right, because these are the future, right? But we have someone beside me, Mr. Scott. So although we have established through our 3 previous panelists that, quite frankly, tobacco cannot be part of your journey to your goals, especially your health goals. We also have to look. Can you tell us a little bit about, just give us a little explanatory statement or mention of how does it impact the environment?
All right, thank you for that question. It's truly an honor to be here among you all. Minister Cuthbertling, great to see you, and great to be here with these 2 great and bright students who know so much about tobacco and its impact. As it regards to the environment, I just want you to think about it from an trees are the anyone know the phrase? Yeah? No? Yeah. So in a sense, trees are the lungs of the earth, right? And if we cut down trees to plant tobacco, where do we get our oxygen from? That's a question. Yeah. Another angle to look at it from is from a marine standpoint. When you throw away the cigarette butts, which have over 400 different chemicals in it, yeah, they can pollute the environment, right? Those same chemicals are, they go into the fish that we eat, right? And overall, from an agricultural standpoint, the fertilizers that are used can have adverse effects on the environment. So there are several ways. And just to go into it just a little more, to bring it into perspective, Brazil, that is in South America, they are one of the major tobacco producers. And I want you to think about the size of these tobacco farms in Brazil. If you think about Cornwall, the county, yeah, Trelawney, St. James, Westmoreland, and the others, there is tobacco farms, overall, as big as the county of Cornwall in Jamaica. Think about that, for example, and think about the amount of trees that they would have had to cut down, yeah, and take into consideration that one tree, an adult tree, can give about 21 kilograms of oxygen per year. So we have to take all of this into consideration that our environment is important and tobacco farming overall and the related linkages with tobacco farming is really bad for the environment.
I never know that, Who knew? We have what? Cornwall, Middlesex, and Surrey. So you're telling me you have tobacco farms a third the size of Jamaica? I cannot wrap my mind around it. And
well, not the size of Jamaica itself, but the county itself. The county of Cornwall. But that's really massive.
That's a large space. And to I can't imagine or wrap my mind around the removal of that many trees to replace it with tobacco plants that will essentially still cause harm to the environment itself. So you're causing harm to the environment by creating the space to make the tobacco that will in turn also affect the environment in other ways as well.
Absolutely.
Is that crazy?
Absolutely, because it feeds into the conversation that we're having a while ago about the impact it has on health, right? But we're seeing that it's like a chain impact. It affects the environment, and then thereafter it affects us as human beings when we consume, if we do.
What about the cigarette butts? You know what the cigarette butts are, kids, Kira and Lenworth? You ever heard about the cigarette butts? That's why the theme is, what is it again? No butts? No butts at all, butts.
Oh, the little thing then when it finish.
No butts about it. You realize that the butt is spelled B-U-T-T?
Yeah.
It's not the butt where you say butt otherwise, but still, it's the butt of the cigarette. That part of the cigarette that they throw away when they've used it. Now that causes damage to the environment too. You want to expound on it to explain it to them?
Absolutely. So the cigarette butts are simply, that little piece that's left at the end, right? And a lot of time persons, when they use a cigarette, they just throw that away. But that in itself, it contains all the different chemicals that would have been in the cigarette. And, studies have shown, what I'm talking is actually scientific studies have shown that whenever you throw just one single cigarette butt in a liter of water, it can, the chemicals in it can seep out into the water, through the process of osmosis and so on. And, it can affect fish and other marine life. So that those same chemicals go into the waters and affect it.
Yeah, and not only that, like, them chew it with like on grass or something. Like the goat them with about the place, them can eat grass and cow them and them thing then. And we are eat them there. So
excellent.
Yes.
So
Excellent.
So we see tobacco is causing damage to not only our health, but also to the environment at large. What about in the sea? Because I recall the theme had mentioned it causes it's pollution to the land, but what of the sea? How does it damage or affect sea life?
Right. It is a similar concept in terms of, the chemicals being released into the sea. But even more so, it was mentioned approximately 40% of beach cleanup globally, they pick up cigarette butts, right? That is major. So you're thinking about not only the cow and the goat that's on land, you're thinking about the fish, that the fish can eat those cigarette butts and overall just, pollute and, can cause severe impact to those fish. It can lead to their loss of lives. So, in essence, we are starting to talk about food security, how, these chemicals affect fish that we eat. Yeah. If these fish die, what do we eat? So these are questions that we have
to ask ourselves. So, Minister, with that said, you as a politician would have to work with your community for various events or related to health activities. He has mentioned, say, cleanup activities. Can you recall ever coming across the cigarette butts in or the or rather or just generally speaking cigarette waste as part of the waste that comes up in your cleanup activities?
Definitely so. I mean, I did a garbage cleanup in my constituency in December. It's one of the months that a lot of activities happen in constituencies, and we did quite a number of cleaning up just different garbage, illegal garbage dumps. And when you look at some of the garbage dumps, definitely you saw cigarette butts, and as minuscule as those things are, it you see them and they pile up, and as you said, this then goes into your wastewater, because one of the places that we cleaned up is near the river, is near a river that I won't even call the name, but near a river where I know a lot of people, they bathe in there, they wash clothes, they swim downstream, and these are some of the pollutants that get into the water. And from time to time, we don't know what it is that's causing, different illnesses. And so it is very important, as you said, not just to look at this one way as it causing ill health inside, but also externally, and what it's doing to the environment.
Thank you. So, Mr. Scott, I thank you for bringing to light this important addition to our knowledge with relation to how tobacco does affect us in the our environment. So, we want to lead into our discussion into substance. So, with that said, I would like to have someone who is experienced in the area to speak on it some more. Thank you so much for coming and sharing with us this morning.
All right, thank you for having me.
Can we give him a round of applause, please? So we have Mr. Daniel Brown, who will assist us in he's coming up from far. Applause, please, while he makes his way to the stage. Mr. Daniel Brown is a substance abuse officer with the NCDA, that's National Council on Drug Abuse, and he will give us his insight from the biobehavioral impact of tobacco. Mr. Brown, how are you doing?
Test one. There we go. I'm doing well. Greetings, everyone. On do.
So now, Mr. Brown, what we want to go into now is this is the nitty-gritty part. This is the difficult part that we're trying to rise above from the abuse of tobacco and how it impacts us on the behavioral. I heard Kiera mention some of that, how it affects your mental and psychosocial. You want to speak on it, especially for the young people here. Let them have a better understanding of how does it affect them.
All right, so you have to understand the ingredients in tobacco. When we talk about cigarettes, right, there's, let's say, roughly about 5,000 different chemicals involved. And one of the most addictive substances known to man to date is nicotine. So it's once you start this process, it's a hard process to come out of. So we're talking about decision making and how this impact your lifestyle or your lifespan. So the earlier you start smoke is the longer they have you hooked for. So basically you're like a money tree, right? Until they said tobacco product it kills this most loyal customer. So the more you use it, is the more to do what? Kill you. So at the end of the day, you have to think about your life and where you want to go. So what some of the choices you make today have long-term consequences to those choices. So I don't think there's one part of the body where cigarette don't affect, right? We're talking about 92% of all oral cancer is caused from smoking. 82% of all lung cancer is caused from smoking. We have first-hand smoke, second-hand smoke, even third-hand smoke. And I can tell you not one benefit when it comes to. So this is your life, this is your choices, this is your career where you have to sit down and think about. Because at the end of the day, not only does it affect you physically, it also robs your pocket, right? Because it's a very expensive habit to maintain.
You hear that, students? Loud and clear, don't it? Now it's funny he said that because the Ministry of Health is pushing to go for a healthier choice in your lifestyle. Eat better, exercise more, do all the things to prevent yourself from contracting the non-communicable disease such as cancer, as he had made mention to it. How many of us here, you can raise your hand, how many of us know somebody who's either suffered from or is suffering from cancer? I know it's more than that. Myself too. And the numbers are going up. As Mr. Scott said, what was the number you gave? 90%?
92%.
92% of lung cancers and
Oral cancer, lung cancer,
is caused from smoking. And as he mentioned, it does not necessarily have to be first-hand smoking. It can be second-hand, it can be third-hand. So that is why it's so critical for us to limit and reduce or rather eradicate the use of tobacco in our world today. So with that said, Minister, I'm here looking at some facts, right? And from these facts here, it says that there's an overall view of 30% of a survey that was conducted. 30% of the overall results. These are coming from kids now, at teenagers, adolescent age groups. Students who definitely thought it was difficult for them to quit smoking. What can you say to this audience right now, filled with mostly students? In what can I say? In layman term, how do you really say no in today's world with the influences? And like I said, we had brought up the fact that you are a role model. You've gone through it yourself. How can you, at this standpoint, speak to them on their level? How can you say no to it?
What? Again, it comes to strength sometimes, and choose your friends wisely. That's really it. Choose your friends wisely. And peer pressure, I know I've been there. Peer pressure can just really rope you into some things that you don't necessarily want to do, but the cool kid over there or the cool group over there, they're doing that, and I want to be a part of. The only thing you need to be a part of is something for yourself, as far as to be you, to be who you want to be, and not try to be, influenced. Now we have the whole influencer thing going on. Who's the influencer? Probably in the schools, and they're the ones that's probably doing the things that you're really not supposed to do. It is definitely okay to be yourself and to be the one that is, you're not in the cool group, so to speak. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be protecting yourselves. You're going to be healthier than that person who is doing some of the things that they shouldn't be doing, like smoking, and doing possibly other drugs. You, at the end of the day, will have a better life. And just take it from me, an Olympian and a person who stayed away from smoking and drugs. The longevity that you will have will be much, much better. Even when we look at the COVID-19, we know of persons who possibly passed away, unfortunately, because they were smokers, and COVID-19 affects your lungs, right? And so it is, and you've heard the panelists saying, it is much harder to stop doing something when you get hooked on it at an early age. And this is the time when persons will try to actually get you to do things because you're young, you're impressionable. People are going to try to rope you into doing certain things. And you know what? It is actually easy to just say no. It really is. You know that commercial, just say no. It is really actually easy to say no. This is not for me. This is not something I like to do. This is not a path I want to take. This is the path I want to take, not that one. And just say, no, this is not something that is good for my health, because your health is really your wealth. I know it sounds kind of corny, but your health is really your wealth. And so just saying no is actually very simple. And that is what I would actually tell you youngsters to do, is to not go down that path, but take the other path, which is not the one that the influencers probably are taking.
Thank you, Minister. Now, this question is for my two youngsters up here, Kira and Lenworth. Now, what I want you to think on in this moment, just think, we're talking realistically. We're not talking politically correct, though. We're talking realistically, right? We have our minister here and we have a representative here of the NCDA. Think about every day going about your daily life and so on. You may or may not have come across persons who are smoking, whether it be the weed or whether they're smoking the tobacco. What is it? What would you want to suggest? These are two very influential people beside you. What would you want to suggest from your perspective? What can we do to reduce or limit or just completely remove tobacco in our space?
I mean, you can't tell like vendors to stop selling because they just keep doing it. 'Cause, I mean, you have to make a profit in a business, and it clearly makes a lot of profit. You understand? But I think it's just something that they practice from young. And I don't think I don't think it's really their choice. I think it's like influential. I think it's like people who force them and they want to look cool, I guess. I would just say try to eliminate like the thought of it. I don't know how though. I don't know really how the strategies of going about it and how to implement it are. But
No worry about that. We're just talking here.
yeah, I would say to just eliminate the problem from young because yeah, we young and fool as I said at the beginning. Gullible, we're quick for we see something cool and we just want to try it. And then we get hooked, we just can't stop. Even though we want to stop, sometimes we just can't.
So we need to tackle the influencers.
Yeah. Like, and just take the thought out of, just make them know, say it's really a bad thing from young.
Thank you. Thank you, Lenworth. Voice of the youth. Kira, is there anything you want to add? Anything you want to say in relation to what has been said before?
Sure. I would say try to do something with your time. Like, utilize your time. Try to get a distraction because you know that is something that once you take it, you're going to get addicted to it. It's going to affect your pocket, as he said. So you have to like manage your time, do something with your time, and just take your mind off.
So what that says to me, is that a lot of users are using this thing as a stress relief.
Right.
They're using it to manage their, as a matter of fact, there's some data right here, that had said that persons prefer to use it in a party environment or it helps them to calm them down in those kinds of situations. Of course, I can't locate the actual data, but it's here. I read it. This is Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, in that event where persons become addicted to drug use, in this case tobacco, because of that, what are the mitigating activities that are being launched or looking into being launched by your agency?
All right, so we have different programs. So we have one of the programs, what we do now is called SODAS. It's about decision making. So we're looking at the S stand for the situation. The O is the option. The D is the disadvantages. The A is advantage and the solution. So basically it's teaching our youth how to make decision making and how each decision has a consequence, whether negative or positive. It is showing them that no matter if you face certain obstacles along the way, you can work yourself around it. So all you have to do is remain calm. Because at the end of the day, one of the strongest force out there to our children is peer pressure, right? So they are bombarded daily on that, right? So it's like you're stimulated or impacted by what you hear or what you see. So if all your friends around you is drinking and smoking, what you going to do, right? They're going to do the same thing because it's very difficult for them to say no to their friends. So it takes a strong person to say, well, you know what? I'm not permitting that. So we help them to make better choices and showing that the choices we make today can affect you tomorrow. So we work on those different angles. Not only do we work with our students, we also work with the parents because we have a different program called Lighthouse. Because another factor is negative parenting. We do have parents sending our children to shops to buy the cigarette. So I can give you one story about a young man at the age of 11 who his mother was washing, sent him to the shop to buy the cigarette. And when he came with the cigarette, her hand was wet. So, for those who smoke, you have to put it in their mouth and light it. So she said, boy, light the cigarette for me. 11 years old. So when this young man now starts smoking ganja at 16, she want to know where to get this bad habit from. We start from where?
Yep.
And that is the reality because guess what? Each day I see these things, The songs they want to listen to, the show they want to watch. So right there, so it's imprinting on our head. So you have to make a decision about your life. Where do you go from here? Please understand that you won't be at this stage forever. What happens when the next part of your life comes when you move into adulthood and you're not prepared for that based on the decisions where you'll have to make today? Right? There's always tomorrow. Today don't last forever. So we have to follow the principle of sowing and reap. You can't go to school and go spend time idle and do all sort of things that when time for sexy come, me never know set to come. Right? So we have to know, look and see where you want to go. So I would encourage every person here to create a vision board. Put something where you can look at daily and map out your life at different stages where you want to go. Right? So that will help you along this thing what we call life.
Thank you. And that's advice, I hope you make notes, Students, did you make note? I hope you start working on your vision boards so you can work towards your goal, tobacco free. Now, before we close out, I'm not sure if we're open to it, but I will ask anyway. If there's any question you'd like to ask your panel members beside you, young people? No? I know Lenworth might have question. I knew it, he's a bright young man. Go right ahead.
I think it's more on the student athlete side. In terms of distraction, not only tobacco, because obviously this is also a big distraction, but any other distraction, how do you block them out? Because it's not really for me because I don't really have a problem like that but yeah, I'm a normal teenager of course, but with less with a little less partying and more training, a lot more training. But for anyone that's online or in the audience who's listening, some other distractions and how to block them out other than tobacco.
So you're asking about how can you find ways of distracting yourself?
How to get rid of
how to get rid of the distractions that will cause for you to become addicted to tobacco.
Yeah.
You want to take that one? That's a very important. You see, I feel as though Mr. Brown might need to bring Mr. Lenworth Chung under his wing so we can have discussions and how we can tackle it. No, so because he's bright and he's a fourth former, but he has a lot to say, and I admire that. Yeah. So, Mr. Brown.
All right. So the question is, how can you? Did you use the word distract yourself? All right. First, assess where you are. Now, one have to understand about life is this: is not everybody is meant to journey with you according to life. So, assess the friends and what you keep. If the friends and what you keep, they're only doing a set of certain things, and that is not in line what you want to do, maybe it's time to get rid of those friends. So you have to assess where you are, because I do understand them as a boy, I'm a judge, that I'm a pari, I'm a brethren. But there's some brethren in our life which is like a hunker or a wall back. You understand me? So your focus is that you're an athlete. So you see where you want to go. So you associate with yourself with like-minded persons. A point which was mentioned earlier is that most about stress management. The reality is most of us don't know how to cope with stress. So we were taught early, say, boy, if you have stress in your life, go drink or go smoke. Right? Then I said, boy, if you have stress in your life, because exercise is something what makes you feel good. So there's other things that we can do what can replace the need for you to go smoke or drink. So we need to have those type of conversations and start to rearrange how we do things even during the day, because I understand where you are, because at this stage it's all about the stimulating the brain, it's about the enjoyment. That's why I can watch reels all day. I can play a video game or what I call it, Spitfire, PUBG, or those different things all day. But as soon as a schoolwork time, I'm gonna feel tired. All right? You understand when they're there? So this is the thing, we have to understand where we are and the influences at this age, and then we work through that, because all of us were there once, we're not born big. So we go through the different challenges. Back in the day, a person used to hide and smoke church leaf and banana or paper. Right? So we just talk facts. So we're not going to come up here and tell us that we don't experience what you experienced at that age. All we're saying is this: learn from our mistakes so that your future is much brighter. Because the things that you're exposed to today, we never had back then. So now we're just having this conversation where we can open a door where you can walk through without having to make those mistakes.
And what he said is very true, because taking from that example that you used where a parent had the child go and buy the cigarette and light it for them, I too have witnessed something of the sort. But then I'm an adult now and I look back and I say, but no, that should never have happened. It's wrong. So now we as adults can say to you, don't forget, even though you are young, you can teach your parents too. How many of you teach your parents anything that you learn at school? A lot of you. Wow. You are brilliant. Give them a round of applause. And it's the same thing applied. You can teach your parents, you can teach your uncle and your auntie, you can teach your neighbors, your friends, and so on, what you have learned here today. And you can go forward into your future, create your vision boards, move forward and become the next politician like Minister Flynn or the next Olympian, and live. And there you can live a brilliant life without drugs, generally speaking, and specifically without tobacco. Right? So thank you so much to the panel members here today. It was a lovely discussion. And at this time, we're going to bring back the two lovely superstars that came and performed for us earlier. The Gozi and Tafari. I got the name right this time, right? And Gozi. I have to get the name right, because these two brilliant people. And Gozi and Tafari. Right. Thank you so much. Yes.
Justin?
Say no tobacco.
No tobacco.
Now I want to hear from the audience, man. Say no tobacco. C-bar, no tobacco. No tobacco. What Prem call them? Prem call, no tobacco. All right, you're my well represented, man. Is this Meadowbrook? All right, Meadowbrook, no tobacco. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Our KC there, Big Top School, KC, no tobacco. Lovely, lovely. Well represented. Only Childhood, no tobacco.
No tobacco.
Jesse Ripple, no tobacco.
No tobacco.
Lovely. Run the rhythm. to the environment is a threat.
No, 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 no buts about it.
No tobacco, no cigarette.
No, 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 no buts about it.
8 million global deaths.
No, 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 no buts about it.
Take a step, no living a regret.
No, 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 no buts about it.
One more puff, one more sniff. Artificial eye, a natural lift. Seize them a spliff. Man, this must be a gift. Tobacco can make the universe smile and the moon shift. But now, this gift has become my craving getting worse. Me need a nurse. If only the hands of time could have reverse. Could have reverse. Could have reverse. Could have reverse. Could have reverse.
You shoulda listen. You shoulda hear. Me say beware, but you never care. With faith, you have a date. Clean the slate, it's not too late. Harmful pesticides in a cultivation. More global deforestation. It causes gas emission. To the environment, it is a threat.
No, 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 no buts about it.
No tobacco, no cigarette.
No, 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 no buts about it.
Take a step, no living a regret.
No, 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 no buts about it.
Million global deaths.
No, 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 no buts about it.
Well, say one more. Let me hear you want encore. Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Children, children, no smoking. Serious risk and no joke thing. No tobacco, no coke thing. Children, children, no smoking. Say you stress. Cigarette are not the answer. Stick a death. Cause enough cancer. Parents are ball. Tears and anger. Parents gone. Not here for no longer. Second hand smoke a nonsense. Plus the children get bad influence. And one day them start to move just like you. And you realize life start to repeat its cycle. And you realize, and you realize, and you realize. Pull up!
Some people smoke and not think about the things them what can happen to them. Smoking can make you sick and can make you look old, mash up and pop down. When you smoke, you can die from cancer, heart attack and some other bad sickness.
Leonard! Leonard, I'm sick!
I know you alone you can't sick. You can sick the people them where you are smoke around too. No buts about it. Smoking and nothing good. Think about the bad thing them way to go do to your health and not smoke out your life. Some people smoke and not think about the things them what can happen to them. Smoking can make you sick and can make you look old, mash up and pop down. When you smoke, you can dead from cancer, heart attack, and some other bad sickness.
Leonard! Leonard, I'm sick!
I know you alone you can't sick. You can sick the people them where you are smoke around too. No buts about it. Smoking and nothing good. Think about the bad thing them way to go do to your health and not smoke out your life.
Nicotine is an addictive drug in tobacco. It causes people to continue smoking. Along with nicotine, people who smoke inhale about 7,000 other chemicals in cigarette smoke. These chemicals come from burning tobacco leaf. These components are chemically active and can damage our bodies. Smoking harms nearly every organ in our body, causing many diseases and reduced health. Tobacco smoke can damage our organs and system. Tobacco smoke lungs irritation and damage, lungs infection, permanent damage to air sacs. Tobacco smoking can cause raise in blood pressure and heart rate, lung cancer, heart diseases, stroke, lung diseases, diabetes, and lots of other problems to the immune system. Reduce bones density and tighten certain muscles, damage to skin tissues, blindness and redness to eyes, gum disease and damage to nails. Nicotine is an addictive drug in tobacco. It causes people to continue smoking. Along with nicotine, people who smoke inhale about 7,000 other chemicals in cigarette smoke. These chemicals come from burning tobacco leaf. These components are chemically active and can damage our bodies. Smoking harms nearly every organ in our body, causing many diseases and reduced health. Tobacco smoke can damage our organs and system. Tobacco smoking can cause the following: windpipe damage, lungs irritation and damage, lungs infection, permanent damage to air sacs. Tobacco smoking can cause raise in blood pressure and heart rate, lung cancer, heart diseases, stroke, lung diseases, diabetes, and lots of other problems to the immune system. Reduce bones density and tighten certain muscles, damage to skin tissues, blindness and redness to eyes, gum disease and damage to nails.
All right, ladies, gentlemen, kids at all right. Ladies, gentlemen, and kids, we're now at the point in which we're going to announce a few awardees. So I'm going to ask Ms. Watkins to do the honors.
Thank you, Ms. Nain, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. To our students, we're so thankful that you are here, and I acknowledge, of course, our State Minister in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, Mr. Michael competition, the World No Tobacco Day video competition, and we asked our students across Jamaica to make their entries in the form of digital video and to demonstrate their understanding of tobacco and environmental health, tobacco and physical health, tobacco and psychosocial health. And I'm here to announce the winners. And so I'm going to just invite the State Minister, the Honorable Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, to help me hand this prize over to our first place winner. Do we have those prizes ready? Oh, fantastic. Yes. All right. So we would have shown 2 videos earlier, and if our team can just queue up the the first of the two. We won't play it right now. Afterwards, we'll allow you to view it. But we thought as a committee that this entrant had done quite excellently with the packaging and the messaging of this video. And so we want to congratulate the winner of this competition, who is from the Jamaica College. Yes, and his name is Jarrell Linton. Congratulations, Jarrell, on behalf of all the stakeholders inside the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the National Council on Drug Abuse, and the entire World No Tobacco Day Committee. We want to acknowledge you for your very creative work and demonstration of this theme. Thank you, Minister Cuthbert Flynn. And congratulations again to Jarrell. Congratulations to Jamaica College. We also have the runner-up from the Nain High School and our regional manager from the National Council on Drug Abuse, Mr. Clifton Morris. Okay, thank you. We have Mr. Clifton Morris, regional manager with the National Council on Drug Abuse, to make this presentation online. So from here at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel, we want to say congratulations to Brianna Brown of Nain High School. Irwin, all right, so we're just making that correction. Irwin High School, congratulations to Brianna Brown. Let's give her a round of applause. And congratulations to all the entrants. We do hope to have you entering the competition next year and to certainly award you for your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Watkins. Can I have a round of applause, please? This was a fabulous event. I think you all were brilliant. You're welcome. You're most welcome. And I want to give a big thank you for coming to all the students, all the schools that are online with us now, and those who are right here in front of us, our participants from the various institutions and organizations, NCDA, Ministry of Health, so on and so forth, the minister, the state minister. There are so many titles and people I have to shout out to, but thank you so much for coming. My name is Ms. Kimberly Nain. I'm the Director Coordinator, Policy Analysis and Research of the Ministry of Health and Wellness. And I thank you all for coming. It is World No Tobacco Day. Please spread it. Go forth. Hashtags, social media, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. I will call on Ms. Curlew to carry out our closing statement. A round of applause, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Lane. How was the day today? Good? Did you learn anything? What you learned? What you learned? Okay, thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that. That it does to your lungs. Thanks. Any online comments? Okay, you can tell me. Yeah, go ahead. Nice. So not just you alone, but who is around there as well, yes? Oh, you know. Okay, I thought it was the young man. Go ahead. We were listening, you and then you. environment is impacted. Thanks. Yes, young man? I love it. We learned something today. Yes, the final one now. Go ahead. No, I'm going to come to you. I see you want to say something after him. Go ahead. Yeah, pollution. Thank you so much. Yes? Thank you so much. And that's why the focus today was on you, because we recognize that it does impair your brain development and also your life. So we're trying for you now to learn and to do better and not make that choice. And it is my privilege to give thanks today. I think Miss Nain did a wonderful job. She started out doing it, but I'd like to thank her as the master of ceremonies. How was she? Thank you, Miss Nain. Mr. Tucker, our executive director, thank you, sir, for your excellent leadership and for allowing this to happen today. To Mrs. Deborah Chen, she left because today is the Jamaica Coalition for Tobacco Control 20th anniversary. So they're having the celebration. She came earlier. Dr. Michelle Harris, we wouldn't be here without you today. Your team, Dr. Harris from PAHO back there. Ngozi and Tafarai. Where them is? Them gone? Such energy. Weren't you entertained by them? So give them a round of applause too. The Honorable Christopher Tufton, he inspired us today. He spoke from his heart and he's truly committed to make sure that we have a Jamaica that is healthy. Okay, so give him a round of applause too. Our Minister Cuthbert, the Honorable Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, she just left here. She did an awesome job as well, telling her story and encouraging us to choose better. And I would like to thank the team, the tobacco, what do we call ourselves? The planning committee, Kadisha Watkins, PAHO, Ministry of Health, and they're here supporting Heart Foundation of Jamaica, Jamaica Coalition for Tobacco Control, and of course, NCDA. Thank you to my team members. Thank you for supporting us today. Daniel, Khadija, Patrick, who else is there supporting us? Okay, how could I forget it? And to the Phase 3 team, clap them, and Pegasus Hotel. Thank you so much for your hospitality. Thank you to the students. You are here while we're here, and you're number one for us. So thank you so much for coming out. Pembroke High School, Calabar, Jamaica College. That's my school, JC. Sorry, it's my school. All right. Thank you so much for turning up today. I think I missed a school. Meadowbrook High, Calabar, JC, and Pembroke High School. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us online. This is for you. We hope that you'll make better decisions and you'll remember World No Tobacco Day. The theme for World No Tobacco Day is what? Read it from there for me. Let's say that one more time. Wait. 1, 2, 3. So go ahead, make better choices for your future. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And that's a wrap. Lunch is going to be served now, so please don't leave us as yet.
Some people smoke and not think about the things them what can happen to them. Smoking can make you sick and can make you look old, mash up, and pop down. When you smoke, you can die from cancer, heart attack, and some other bad sickness.
Leonard! Leonard, I'm sick!